Welcome, 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 and good evening, and welcome to Yma Mat Chat. I'm Coach Les, and this is Mr. John Yarwood, episode number 73.
Man,
And we're talking, and we figured we're this is our second year doing this.
it's a long time.
It
Long
is,
time.
and it's all recorded on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and my Facebook, and Yarwood Martial Arts Facebook.
Yep.
So if you have a spare, I think you can do double time on listening to some. I don't know if you can on Facebook. I know you can on YouTube.
The Facebook lives, is it a month or 2 months now? They delete them.
Oh, they're gone.
Yeah, so I have if I don't have it recorded somewhere else, I have to go to Facebook and download it off of my Facebook page so I have it. And then I put it on the YouTube page or whatever. It's also for me it's recording live on YouTube as well. So
Yeah. So, for if any of you have interest, we've had some really good. Last week's episode was on excuses and how they're holding you back. A couple weeks ago, we had the importance of mentorship for students. And a few weeks before that, we had the importance of stability in life rather than is stability balance. Are they the same thing? Which matters more? What is your perceived self-worth? Right after Valentine's Day. Oof, that was a perfect one.
Here's my stack.
Oh my gosh. I printed them, but some made it to recycling.
Yeah, no, I got them all.
I've saved them all in computer form.
Yeah.
But tonight's episode is about when walking, walk, when eating, eat. The core idea is simple. When you're doing something, actually do it. Most people today are distracted constantly. They eat while scrolling. They look at their phones while they're working. They work while checking notifications and talk while thinking about the next task. Presence is a discipline, a skill that improves focus, performance, and awareness. And people think, oh, I'm just looking at my text because it came across the bottom. It's not really going to take me away from anything.
Yep.
So I would be, I think one of the things that I, as a business coach, as I share with a lot of my clients that have kids, I highly recommend that they create a charging station in the kitchen or by the foyer or the front door or back door. And they put all their electronic devices to charge when they get home until 8 o'clock at night if they have to, or 7 o'clock if they have to do homework. And then they go right back there and then they go up to bed. And they have a good old-fashioned alarm to wake them up.
I remember those.
Yeah. In fact, I still have my alarm from when I was 11 years old. And it was one of those with blue, like a blue LED.
Digital back then.
Yep. And you could make it go louder.
Mm-hmm.
And its noise was
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Like in my dreams, I hear that. No, I just tidied up after you, dog. So out. All right. Well, so we're going to be taking a look at this from a couple things. Why does it matter? How does the martial arts connection? What is the challenge for you as the listeners? And some closing ideas and some of the things that we bump into in each of our lives. So my guess is it's going to be a quick 30 minutes because this is such a powerful conversation that is so prevalent in today's society.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you talked about the onset of, phones and iPads and all that stuff. People are, I think it's probably the biggest problem right now is distraction, right? Your phone tells you at the end of every day or every week or whatever it is, how much time you average looking at it throughout the week, right? It tells you. So you get like, how many hours did you spend staring at that thing every single day, right? How much did that cost you? How much time did it cost you? How much um, you know, time with your family did it cost you? Work time, money, um, leisure time, time when you said you didn't have time. I mean, there's so many things that it creates problems for, right? And it, there's no way to right now. There's no way to get them out of your life completely. We rely on them now, but monitoring how much you're utilizing them for what they're for versus just doom scrolling and staring at them for hours on end. That's a whole different ball game, right? So if you have if you have things that you're supposed to be doing, focusing on a list or your job or work or kids or school or whatever it is, do that. Don't sit there and oh yeah, just a minute, I gotta check my text. Oh wait a minute. Oh hey, you're constantly distracted by what's going on and you don't focus on the job at hand. It suffers, right? If you're doing homework, you're not studying, right? You're not learning. And then when it comes to test time, you're like, oh, I don't remember this. When you probably went over it 8 times because you kept getting back and forth, right? And you actually never learned anything about it. So that distraction it costs. It's got a huge cost to it.
I and I agree wholeheartedly. I look at when you go to coffee shops and you look at teenagers
Yeah.
and and one step above teenagers, they're buried into their phones.
They're talking to each other through their phone and sitting while they're sitting next to each other, right? So they could be sitting right next to each other and they're texting each other instead of talking to each other, interacting with each other.
Yep.
They don't know how to anymore. But it's like it's such a huge detriment to what you're doing. I mean, there's life is distracting enough as it is, but then you add other things into it, right? If you're not staying focused on the things you're supposed to do, things you're supposed to learn, whatever it is, that you're going to have problems. Our current life skill is focus. We talk to our little dragons about focus, and they know exactly what it is. They say, "Pay attention," right? That's what they call focus. Pay attention. And then I say, when are you supposed to pay attention? And they say, all the time. I said, what about when you're sleeping? And then they all laugh. And I said, can you pay attention while you're sleeping? No. I said, why not? So we have fun with it, but they understand, right? We get them to stand in a set and pay attention, listen, follow directions, do what they're supposed to do. And it's helping them to understand that you have to focus on what you're doing in order to accomplish it, to succeed at it, to get it done, whatever it is you need to do with it. And if you get distracted by things, the quality suffers. The quantity goes up, right? The quantity of time you spend on something goes up because you're distracted, but the quality of it goes down because you're distracted. So you could spend less time and do a better job if you just focus on the task at hand and not do other stuff while you're trying to do it.
It I look at people in business meetings and who was it? Gosh darn it. There was just a conversation about this. And I'm thinking it was actually church this past Sunday where the pastor said, when you go to a meeting, oh no, it was Simon Sinek. It was Simon Sinek, and I forwarded it. I'll have to find it and send it to you. And he said, when you go to a meeting, don't put your phone on the table. He says, put it on airplane mode and put it in your bag.
Mm.
This is Simon Sinek. This
Mm-hmm.
is like a guy that lives on the internet
Mm-hmm.
and social media. Start with why.
Yep.
And, I was listening to it and he just brought up so many little tidbits of good information because, even I trust me in this, I am a prime example. I have a watch. My watch goes bzzz when I get a text message, right? It doesn't ring or make a noise, but it vibrates,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And then you
And
go.
and I look at it, and there could be a picture there. So then I'm completely hijacked.
Well, yeah, you and I are in a business meeting every week where we get up and talk about our business, right? And there's 100 people in that room.
Yep.
If you are looking around when you're talking, I would say, venture to guess, 50% of the people aren't paying attention to you. At least.
Yep.
They all got a laptop in front of them, or they got a phone in their hand. They just don't pay attention at all. I make it a point to look around the room while I'm talking, and I can see it. Some people are looking right at me and listening. Other people couldn't care less. And it's just, and you can, I mean, literally, it's a microcosm of everything that's going on. But it's, I mean, and look at that. They're all business owners. They're all doing business stuff, right? And they're sitting in a meeting about business, learning about other businesses, supposedly being good partners with those businesses, and they're not even paying attention to them. It's like, you're affecting your business, you're affecting how things go, right? If you're not even paying attention in a place where it's specifically about your business, right? How do you excuse me, how do you get the success you need in your actual business if that's how you operate? I mean, I get it, it's a challenge, but it's costing, right? And if you sit and just pay attention to how much you're actually on the phone or distracted in general, you'd be surprised how much time you're wasting.
I look at how many people text and drive. And you look at how many people go off the roads
Mm-hmm.
or cross the whole deal.
Yep. When you're driving, drive. The text can wait. If it's that important, pull over.
Yeah. It's I would say that I'm not great at it, right? I run risks all the time. I remember, but even before cell phones, I would drive long distance on freeways, and read while I was driving.
Hmm.
And I saw somebody doing it once, and I thought, oh, this is perfect. I will probably won't see a car for an hour, 2 hours, you know. And now we have cars, you know. Luckily, now we have cars like Teslas and some of the others. They'll drive all the way into town and park you
Hmm.
without you having to touch the steering wheel.
I've actually done that.
You have?
Yeah, I've did self-driving when we went to Denver. We
No.
were it was a 16-hour drive, and I think total between the two of us, one way we drove maybe 25 minutes in control of the vehicle, like hands on the steering wheel driving it. The rest of the time it drove itself.
Wow. I
But
wanted. Yep.
you get if you have that, you get used to that, right? So when you're actually driving, you forget that you need to be paying attention. Because when you're sitting there, there's a camera that's watching you, so you at least have to be looking forward, right? But you can put like I see people put like a little stand phone thing on their steering wheel, so the phone is right in front of them. So you're always looking forward. The camera sees your eyes forward, but you can see your phone because you don't have to pay attention. The car drives itself. You still have to look, but you don't have to like.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'll give it that. It was really cool, but I like driving too much.
Yeah.
It's very very interesting to not have control of the vehicle. It does everything itself. Goes up the entrance ramps. It turns. It waits for vehicles. It turns. It parks itself. The whole thing. It was crazy. But if you get yourself used to something like that, you become distracted, and then you
Well,
cause
and then
problems.
and then you don't pay attention to the what if somebody's running through the light?
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I almost got hit by a minivan the other day. She went right through a stop sign, right in front of me. If I hadn't
Mm,
hit the brakes, she would have T-boned me.
mm. Yeah, we've been kind of talking about this, I mean, not directly, but with my new black belts. Well, all my students, but my black belts in particular, is that I need them to focus on one part of their form while they're doing like a specific attribute that they need to work on. Like specifically, the biggest one is feet, your stances, right? And I find them just doing the form, not paying attention to it, right? Just going through the motions. And so I force them to do. I said, here's the deal. You need to slow down, and I need you to every move you do, check your stance, feel your stance, focus on what your feet are doing. Because people just stop paying attention to it, right? They get distracted by what their hands are doing, or somebody is on the other side of the room doing something, and they're not paying attention. They're just going through the motions, and their technique suffers, right? And then they got to do it again, and then again, and I get mad, and I go, "You're not paying attention. You're not focusing. I need you to do this, right?" So teaching them to understand that the way to get something done correctly the first time, or at least better, is focus on what you're doing. If you're doing a front stance, do a front stance. Pay attention to the front stance, right? Don't pay attention to what the next move is going to be, right? You're not doing the next move. You're doing this move. So focus on this move. And it's a challenge because they're mostly kids, so they don't know how not to be distracted. They don't know how to focus because their entire lives they've been distracted. So it's their way of that's just how it is for them, right? So bringing them out of that zombie coma of distraction and saying focus on something specific, they struggle. It's a challenge for them because doing one thing for longer than 5 minutes is like torture.
The one thing that I notice in doing Taekwondo is it becomes a skill to put everything together.
Yep.
And I can't handle that. Like my frontal cortex cannot do it.
Mhm.
It has to come from memory.
But in
Muscle
order to commit it to memory,
Yep.
you have to do it.
Over and over and over and over and over.
But just doing it over and over and over again, what we always say, practice makes habit. And if you're practicing wrong, you're not focusing on what you're supposed to do, and you're distracted or whatever it is, you're going to be really good at doing it wrong.
And when the last time I was training a few weeks ago, you pointed out I was ducking it. My feet were ducking it. And I looked and I went, what? Because it had not been an issue for me. And when I hurt my knee, I ducked to make it easier.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've never stopped that.
Yep. And the thing is, though, you didn't even realize you were doing it.
Yeah.
Till it got pointed out.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, distraction is such a big part of our everyday lives now. Constantly, everywhere you go, there's stuff going here, flashing here. You got your phone in your hand, you got your iPad, you got your laptop, you got people talking to you got people calling you, texting you. I mean, it's just constant distraction, and it's never paying attention to one specific thing. You're going here, there, here, there, here, there, over here, right? And just sit down and focus on one specific task without any distractions is nearly impossible to do now because they're so used to that. Right? And if you don't get that dopamine hit, you move on to the next thing so you can get it, right? You're not sticking around long enough to really get anything out of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's definitely
And it's something that's trained. We've been trained that way now. It's on purpose. So it's work to undo it and stay focused and not be distracted.
very much so. I think, though, one of the keys to this is because our brains are very powerful. And I think there's something to be learned from this. And that is how much we can actually train our brains to be responsible for this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
So a friend of mine's father would always ask my friend, when they went into a store, he would stop him and pull him towards the back of the store and say, okay, how many people are in the store?
Hmm.
Was there anybody at the end when we came in the entry? Or was there anybody leaving at the same time? What were they wearing? And he became excruciatingly accurate.
Yep.
because he trained his brain to
Like
pick up all that.
like situational awareness type stuff.
Yep. And to me, that's what I see martial arts as. It's training that part of your brain.
Yep.
I think it's exciting.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that it takes practice, right? It's not going to happen first time, second time, third time. It takes practice, and you have to be conscious of what you're doing. Focus on it. Otherwise, it's not. You're not going to be able to be successful at it because it's work, because you've been trained the other way to be distracted, to be looking for other things, to look for that next hit, right? You don't get it from long-term focus on one specific thing. And your brain is like, I need it, I need it, I need it, I need it. What's next? What's next? What's next? You just gotta say shh. That's
Well,
all
and
you can
that's,
do.
and it's interesting that you say this, shh, because one of the things that they're suggesting now is when you wake up in the morning, taking 15 minutes to do nothing,
I do that.
to
What I
just,
do, what's really cool is I get up, go to the bathroom or whatever, and I go sit down in on at the table with the lights off, nothing going on, just still and quiet. Sit there and just don't do anything. Just sit there. It's hard to not think about stuff. I focus on my breathing, being calm, right? This is before coffee. This is before anything. Just sit with your feet flat on the floor, back straight, hands on the table, and just it's challenging because you're like, oh man, what do I gotta do? I got stuff to go on today. Nope, nope. Shh.
so I do it in bed in the morning, and I just lie back, and
Mm-hmm.
there, and it's funny because there are times that I will fall asleep, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like it's okay because then I'll come awake again and I'll do it again.
Yep. Yeah. It's amazing how good it feels.
Yeah.
I mean, even though, but I just woke up. My body's been resting all night. No, but you woke up and went, and your body's got a little bit of adrenaline dump right when you wake up, right? So you got to calm it back down again.
So I was just looking at the sheet. Challenge for listeners, the people that are listening to this and reviewing it. When eating, just eat. No phone, no TV. When walking, just walk. Pay attention to breathing and surroundings. Get into a rhythmical pattern. As you take a footstep, you breathe.
Mm-hmm.
When talking, just listen. Do not plan your response while the other person speaks. If you ask a question, don't be planning the next question already.
Yep. Yep.
And you can see it in people's eyes. So if you think you're trying to fool somebody,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're
They're just waiting for their moment to say the answer or say what they want to say. They didn't even hear a word you said.
yep.
And then you go, did you hear what I said? Yeah, I heard what you said. But what did I say? You said something to the effect of. Yeah, something to the effect of. You didn't hear what I said. You already have an answer to a question I haven't even asked yet.
And you may be hoping that I ask it.
Yeah. You're planning on answering a question.
Yeah. And when you go to an interview, don't try and predict what they're going to ask you. Just be there. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
learn.
Listen and engage.
Yeah.
Be present.
Suzanne Urkel joined us and gave us a thumbs up, by the way.
Hello.
Yeah. So the closing thought. Most people chase productivity hacks and new systems, but the real upgrade may be much simpler. Be where you are. When walking, walk. When eating, eat. Master that. And life becomes clearer, more focused, and more intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you go to Europe, especially France, and you go out for lunch, lunch is an event. It is not a 20-second McDonald's trip. It is an actual event that requires being present, taking time, relaxing. And it's surprising the difference it makes.
And enjoying your food.
Amen. So with that, appreciate. It looks like a couple people joined on Facebook. Thank you for watching. Definitely go back, take a listen if this topic interests you before they take it off of Facebook. Otherwise, go to one of our other formats. And we will look forward to seeing you next week for episode number 74.
Yep. Bye.